our voices to make these choices clear to the men that we love. Our lives are worth more than their anger and disappointment.
What's that pitter-patter sound I'm hearing in the background? It's the footsteps of Barack running to vote for Trump. Michelle Obama surprised fans on our new podcast by saying her pet peeve about her husband is that he's chronically late. For example, we're still waiting on him to admit he's from Kenya. And as for Barack's pet peeve about Michelle, he's mad that she keeps leaving the toilet seat up. When she cleans it. When she cleans it.
Michelle Obama seemed untouchable, backed by a polished publicity team, red carpet glamour, and a crew of behind-the-scenes writers. But then came Greg Gutfeld, wielding his trademark sarcasm like a sledgehammer. He didn't just scratch the surface of her carefully crafted image, he cracked it wide open. Behind the polished phrases and trending hashtags, Gutfeld unearthed contradictions that many were too dazzled to question. From her starring role in the pageant of selective outrage to her jet-setting displays of curated humility, his sharp commentary cut straight through the shine. No rehearsed speech could brace for this kind of blunt critique. This was raw, unfiltered, and relentless.
Even if they run Michelle. According to a new poll, Michelle Obama isn't as strong a Democratic candidate against former President Donald Trump as many Dems would have you believe. In a hypothetical matchup, my favorite kind. Trump wins with 47% of the vote, compared to Michelle Obama's 44%. I guess some of the kids whose school lunches she ruined are finally old enough.
Almost overnight, quicker than a kid changing their profile picture, Michelle Obama morphed from First Lady to cultural phenomenon. But that transformation wasn't the whole story behind her departure from the White House spotlight. She appeared on countless podcasts, curated a legacy on streaming screens, and wrapped it all in a glossy, feel-good package that felt more at home in a lifestyle feature than a history book. Somewhere amid the sparkle, one might pause and ask, why does the nation's most adored former First Lady seem unwilling to own up to the contradictions? Gutfeld didn't need much more than a glance at the Michelle myth machine before firing off his signature brand of critique.
I'm surprised he didn't nag them for not knowing which was their shrimp fork. But Obama, shouldn't you be back on Martha's Vineyard, you know, where the black population is roughly 3%? If he wanted to twist some arms, he should have sent Michelle. First, rumors continue to escalate for the Obamas. Hopefully they can settle it like men. Terrible that you would applaud that.
Let's begin with her latest eye-catching appearance. One where she rolled out a flurry of high-end brand partnerships and wellness ventures that looked like they could bankroll a small country, all while lamenting how hard it is to be so famous. The contradiction is hard to miss. Michelle Obama is cast as the everywoman, yet speaks from a global stage. She's the so-called outsider who landed a multi-million-dollar deal with Spotify. It's a bit like watching a crocodile complain about all the attention at the watering hole.
We will never benefit from the affirmative action of generational wealth.
Generational wealth. Something good that now in the prism of liberal politics is very bad. But don't worry, the Obamas own at least 4 homes. That's a lot of separate bedrooms for them to avoid sex.
When someone with a mansion, personal chefs, and a direct line to Hollywood power players starts claiming they're invisible, Greg Gutfeld didn't just raise an eyebrow, he reached for the popcorn. Sympathy alone wasn't going to cut it. Michelle continues to voice her feelings of disconnect while delivering uplifting monologues from pristine, polished spaces. She's positioned herself as the emotional compass of a privileged, progressive elite. And she's just one glossy magazine cover away from sealing the image.
Like a liberal groundhog, Obama's popping up to warn us about how Trump's turning into a dictator.
We start drifting into something that is not consistent with American democracy. It is consistent with autocracies. We're not there yet completely, but I think that we are dangerously close to normalizing behavior.
Next up is her supposed claim to the moral high ground. Michelle often presents herself as the original architect of polished humility. So refined it might as well be trademarked, but it seems like her most heartfelt stories may have been brainstormed during a luxury Pilates retreat by a team of PR strategists. Each carefully packaged anecdote feels more curated than a lifestyle influencer's book tour diary. Gutfeld took apart every one of these polished tales like someone decoding a TED Talk with a hidden product plug. And he didn't need cue cards to do it.
Michelle thinks American men suck.
Let me warn you, your rage does not exist in a vacuum. If we don't get this election right,
Then there's her widely recognized campaign for healthy eating. You might think she declared war on flavor the moment she discovered vegetables in 2009. Gutfeld approached the overhaul of school lunches with the precision of a crime scene investigator, one searching for evidence that seasoning had gone missing. While urging kids across the nation to love their greens with military-level enthusiasm, Michelle now enjoys protein shakes tailored to her exact preferences. The message? Healthy choices, but make it glamorous. The spotlight has shifted from serving the public to showcasing lifestyle branding in shades of green. And now, with a fitness empire springing from her name, fans can follow her workout routines. Sold in hardcovers, streamed on demand, and possibly backed by the same activewear brands that made sure her lighting was flawless. Despite claiming that politics is about empowerment, she seems to appear in every hot-button moment, like a GPS locked onto cultural relevance. Gutfeld sees it all not as civic duty, but as a performance, disguised just enough to pass for public service.
your wife, your daughter, your mother, we as women will become collateral damage to your rage. To the women listening, we have every right to demand that the men in our lives do better.
Michelle Obama's talks often feel like a TED Talk that accidentally wandered into a group therapy circle and decided to stay. She tends to deliver sweeping statements wrapped in emotional language only to pivot into conclusions that somehow come off as both thoughtful and condescending. For Greg Gutfeld, this was gold. Selling $40 memoirs while delivering life lessons felt to him like handing out hugs behind a toll booth. Transactional at best. And speaking of that booming memoir empire, Gutfeld tore through it with the energy of a librarian on a triple espresso. Michelle's books, he argued, focus less on genuine vulnerability and more on building a polished brand. She presents herself as a prophet descending from a spin class, turning elegant phrases into bold declarations as if simplicity were a revelation. If exaggerated metaphors were an Olympic sport, Gutfeld would have awarded her a gold, and then critiqued the medal design. Impressive? Yes, poised, definitely, but grounded? Not so much. Her version of civic involvement feels more like a lifestyle catalog, tightly edited, media-ready, and filled with jargon dense enough to confuse even the smartest social media algorithm. Michelle doesn't just encourage support, she packages it, monetizes it, and markets it across platforms, trends, and sponsored content.
Meanwhile, here's former First Lady Michelle Obama last night.
Kamala has shown her allegiance to this nation, not by spewing anger and bitterness, but by living a life of service and always pushing the doors of opportunity open to others. She understands that most of us will never be afforded the grace of faith.
Gutfeld pointed out that the line between helping people and selling to them has blurred completely, where slogans take the place of real service. And then came the biggest punchline of all, the portrayal of Michelle as the everyday American's voice. When did luxury homes, jet-set travel, and designer wardrobes become symbols of being relatable? Gutfeld's commentary pierced through that illusion like a spotlight through fog. And just when Michelle insists she's not entering politics while giving speeches that suggest otherwise, Greg unwrapped the act like a magician revealing the trick. The charm? It's the setup. The goal? Often political. He also didn't let the media obsession slide. Every wardrobe choice, every quote is treated like it's from a golden era. When applause was endless, lighting was perfect, and no one dared ask the hard questions. Gutfeld kept it blunt. Living off past accomplishments eventually starts to look a lot like turning fame into a product line.
To her old employer. Tim Walz went on a bird hunt this weekend, although he had a little trouble loading his shotgun. He defended himself, saying it's different than the one he used when he shot bin Laden. I do this? And today was Columbus Day, which here in New York is now known as Indigenous Peoples Day. Or as Italians call it, oh, I got your indigenous holiday right here.
Michelle Obama presents a broad definition of empowerment, especially when it comes to feminism. She often argues that women can achieve anything unless they're criticized. Then pushback is dismissed as people simply misunderstanding her brilliance or being envious or hostile. But Greg Gutfeld wasn't buying it. He dismantled that narrative like a tower of index cards in a windstorm. True empowerment, he argued, doesn't need applause on repeat. It has to be earned, not expected. Michelle's version, in his view, seems more like a spotlight path, a journey lit up only to showcase her dual identity as media mogul and mother. Instead of signaling growth, it gives off a sense of strategic self-promotion. There's been more national discussion about Michelle's sneakers than actual legislation. Somehow, fashion choices spark more headlines than policy debates, and a jacket can turn into a geopolitical symbol. Gutfeld took aim at this trend, highlighting how image often overtakes substance. When admiration for the outfit outweighs interest in the ideas, he noted, it's a sign the spotlight may be shining in the wrong direction.
Doesn't seem like this is the right strategy.
No.
It basically says that they're hurting women by voting for Trump.
But I think they don't understand that where it comes from in the first place is that people are sick of being told how bad they are and talked down to, and you know, the condescension doesn't work. None of what they're doing really works. I mean, the Walls AOC live stream of them playing Madden together was supposed to be to get like dudes who like football on their side, and they did it.
When tackling tough issues, Michelle usually speaks in a measured tone, like someone balancing truth with business interests. According to Greg, she sidesteps deeper topics like a contestant on a political-themed game show, offering stories and metaphors that sound more like they belong in a greeting card collection than a serious conversation. Even her support for youth causes, he noted, feels more like a glossy camp brochure packed with smiles and slogans than meaningful advocacy. Inspiration without action, he reminded viewers, is just marketing dressed up as purpose. And when it comes to public adoration, it's reached surreal heights. She's been called everything from the nation's conscience to its spiritual compass. But Greg argued that behind that perfectly curated post-White House image lies a relentless pursuit of brand control. Every speech, podcast, and appearance builds on her crafted reputation as the voice of reason, the fashion-forward rebel, and the calm force in the storm. But strip away the filters, and what's left is an image fine-tuned for views, likes, and metrics, not for raw authenticity.
So, Congresswoman, according to a new study by a think tank, young men struggle to name any masculine Democrat leaders besides Barack Obama, saying it's the Republican Party that best represent men's interests. Are you surprised by this? Where did the Dems go wrong?
I'm not surprised by this at all. And when I think about it, I think, you know, Fetterman probably comes the closest to this, is the most masculine, but the today's Democrat Party, they have completely...
Still, Michelle manages to sidestep controversy while positioning herself as a guiding figure on platforms built by younger voices. Greg Gutfeld pointed out the irony. It's hard to lead a revolution when you're careful not to scuff your designer shoes. Michelle may talk about growth and change, but she rarely takes risks that might dent her image. Just when you think she's slowing down, another polished initiative appears, each one a blend of motivational slogan, college recruitment flyer, and corporate-branded TED Talk. When activism comes bundled with branded hashtags and a perfectly coordinated outfit, it's tough to take the message at face value. Gutfeld, never one to miss a punchline, turned those efforts into satire gold. Even as criticism builds, Michelle sticks to her familiar move, claiming she's been misunderstood. But she doesn't just want to be respected, she expects to be revered. Admiration isn't enough, she's chasing full devotion. Gutfeld saw the dynamic clearly. When someone maintains such an impeccable public image, it's rarely just for show. More often than not, it's part of a very deliberate campaign, one where the message may matter, but the brand always comes first. Greg Gutfeld didn't just pick apart Michelle Obama's carefully curated image. He exposed its construction, layer by layer. Some insiders have quietly suggested that her transition from public service to global luminary was a less organic evolution and more finely tuned brand relaunch. Rumor has it that her recent wellness ventures and lifestyle deals were developed at invitation-only retreats.
Fact. Obama's now a Republican.
Everyone knows that getting rid of the deficit will require some tough decisions. And that includes cutting back on billions of dollars in programs that a lot of people care about. But what should be easy is getting rid of the pointless waste and stupid spending that doesn't benefit anybody. Waste we should be getting rid of.
With elite PR strategists guiding messaging, timing, and aesthetics. One source likens her recent announcement of high-profile brand collaborations to a theatrical unveiling, planned down to the lighting and wardrobe. Meanwhile, skepticism over her wardrobe spending resurfaces. Though earlier reports confirmed taxpayers didn't fund those $12,000 gowns, critics quietly speculate that high-end sponsorships helped offset the cost, in a way that still kept her polished image intact. Online chatter includes murmurs that during her storytelling workshops, executives pepper her with emotionally uplifting tales, an exercise in narrative control. Gutfeld's takedown felt all the sharper knowing that beneath each warm anecdote could lie a line of strategic talking points. As one Reddit commenter put it, "He's not joking, he's mocking. There's a difference." That sentiment captures how his critique didn't rely on offenses or insults, but pointed observations about packaging and performance. On the Netflix front, some viewers quietly suspected that the Obama's original pledge to remain non-political never held. There's a prevailing whisper in media circles that Netflix programming developed under their deal subtly leaned into progressive messaging, though overt political content was publicly discouraged. One fan post framed it wryly. "This is not the Obama network," they claimed, but some felt it looked that way nonetheless.
Michelle reportedly gets $750,000 for a 1-hour speech. It's actually $50,000 for the speech and $700,000 to watch her rip a phone book in half. But $750 grand? Really? That's almost as much as I got paid to pose nude for that art class.
Gutfeld's live commentary frequently highlights this sense of performance without accountability. In a clip from mid-2024, he dismissed Michelle's rumored ambition with a casual aside. She doesn't need to run for office. She's already made enough money, stays famous, and doesn't want the scrutiny. That casual delivery became one of Gutfeld's key frames, a wealthy woman lamenting invisibility while barefoot kids face school lunch battles. Reddit viewers add perspective. One commenter criticized his approach, arguing that Gutfeld's style lacks real wit and comes off as repetitive snark because it's good old-fashioned sexism. His co-stars and viewers lap it up. That criticism underscores a tension. Is his roast-sharp commentary or just looped mockery? These insider whispers and audience reflections add another layer to the unfolding story, one where image, brand, and theatrical activism overshadow substance. Michelle's image control machine continues churning out appearances, each counted, curated, polished. Gutfeld remains ready to dissect, and social media remains hungry for every replay clip or excerpt that captures what he sees as the gap between public resonance and authenticity. As her brand empire evolves with glossy campaigns, tie-in apparel, and curated digital narratives, the conversation shifts again. The same fans who celebrated her style now wonder if their applause reinforces the performance. And critics wonder, when does curated empowerment become marketing at scale? In the next section, we'll explore how Gutfeld's response plays out in real-time public metrics, like social engagement, subscriber backlash, and the media industry's shifting appetite for influencer-driven storytelling. For now, the spotlight fades, but only slightly. Michelle Obama's brand continues its climb, with every gesture, quote, and expression feeling like part of a carefully directed performance. And Greg Gutfeld? He's not putting down the mic anytime soon. As long as Michelle lives like royalty while presenting herself as one of the people, the roast writes itself. Just when it seems like the show is over, she returns, draped in an outfit likely more expensive than most Americans' yearly rent, ready with another wave of passionate speeches. She steps onto the stage with purpose, but it's the same message polished again, ending with a familiar tone of superiority. And the audience? Nodding along like it's something brand new, not just the latest episode in a long-running series. It's what Greg calls victim theater at its most rehearsed. But where others see inspiration, Gutfeld sees strategy. He cuts through the glitter and applause like a surgeon with a sharp scalpel, revealing a well-maintained image that claims authenticity while operating like a machine. The empowering quotes, the spotlight moments, the polished branding, eventually it all starts to blur. That mask she once claimed she didn't wear, it slips again. Has the truth been fully revealed? Not quite. According to Greg, the performance isn't over. In fact, it's just starting to heat up.